Bethany Manctelo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Hello everybody and welcome to the 2024-25 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talkins, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Ted Robertson and Stan Godwin.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Well, evening Ted.
Good evening, Myles.
Evening Stan.
All right, Myles.
Hope you both enjoyed this last week instead of for the two games. On Thursday next week, there is an evening with some former players at the Den, and here is one of them.
All fans, Ben Thompson here. Just wanted to say next week on Thursday, me and Shaun Williams are doing a Q&A at the Den in the evening. Looking forward to seeing some of you there, some familiar faces, and yeah, it should be all round a good evening. Good win against Leeds. Come on, you Lions!
I love the passion from Ben there. Thanks, Ben. Yes, you can come and enjoy the company of two former Millwall midfielders, Ben Thompson and Shaun Williams, on Thursday the 14th of November at 7 p.m. in Arry's Bar. The £10 tickets need to be booked through the Millwall ticketing section of the club website, or you can find the link on the Millwall Community Trust Facebook, X and X social media sites. Don't hang about because they will sell fast. Get your tickets now. Well, Ted, I'll start with you. Last Sunday we faced Burnley at the Den. How would you describe that victory?
Excellent. I think for me, it's probably our best all-round performance this season. Burnley are a decent side. I thought they lacked a little bit up front, but they're a decent side, a good side. But I just thought we grew into the game after the first 10, maybe 15 minutes, where they, like most of these sides up the top, they know how to keep the football. I know Stan loves a little bit of keep ball, but to me, there's always got to be a purpose at the end of it. And I thought against Burnley, we grew into the game and had that. Every time we got the ball, we looked dangerous. But in the same breath, we also looked very solid at the back. Didn't give anything away. And a special mention for me on Sunday went to Casper Denori and George Saville in the middle of the park, because they run their hearts out, as did everyone in the team, but they seemed to get a grips in the middle of that park. And I don't think 1-0 was quite as comfortable a scoreline as perhaps it could have been against Burnley. It just never, they just never, I don't know if I'm alone with this, Myles, but they just never felt like we was in danger. Yeah, typical Millwall, they keep you on the edge of their seat until the final whistle, by only being one up. But it was lovely to see the likes of Josh Coleman coming back into the side. Lovely to see a bench like that on Sunday and last night, where we've actually got a lot of options sitting there of players that we would quite willingly start the game with, if you know what I mean. So things moving very much in the right direction, in my opinion, Myles. And as I say, I'm pretty sure Burnley are going to be up there come the end of the season. So Sunday's was a fantastic win. I will like to just quickly mention last night with Leeds, because as me and Stan were talking just off air before we came on, there's no better feeling in the world than beating Leeds United. It's the one team that I would even, this is hard to say, but even put it above your Crystal Palaces and your West Hams, the joy in beating Leeds. For some reason, the arrogance within that side always comes down, and I feel it at the Den, and it was just a wonderful feeling last night. So I'm sure I'm like many Millwall fans after watching that last night. I had a big enough grin on my face Monday morning, but I can tell you for now, it was twice as wide on Thursday morning after beating Leeds.
Yeah, I've 100% agree with everything you said there, Ted, and I think Neil Harris does as well in the sense of beating Leeds. Stan, a question for you. Leeds, obviously, but Ted went on to it, but Leeds arrived in the capital yesterday. You know, a small matter of beating Leeds, and we did exactly that. What were your thoughts on the win? It's 4 on the trot, 4-1 wins.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, as Tess just said, and I agree. I mean, the one team I love to beat is Leeds more than anybody else, right? For all the same reasons, arrogance and all that sort of thing. You know, they turn up, then they think there's something special. especially when they play us, then invariably it don't work out that way for them. But they never learn. But no, I mean, I enjoyed the game last night. I mean, I felt that if I go back to Burnley for a second, I mean, when we started off against Burnley, we was a bit slow in getting started. That's not a criticism. I mean, we sort of like an engine, ain't we? We've got to start to get going. Once we started to get going, I never ever thought for a minute that we would lose the game. We might draw it, we would certainly win it. But I never ever thought that Millwall against Burnley we was ever in any danger of losing the game, right? And to some extent, last night it took a little bit longer because, in fairness to Leeds, when they come out and we kicks off, they was at it straight away. They were there to, presumably, hopefully, from their point of view, probably get a couple of quick goals. And then put us on the back foot because it never happened. And I mean, it took us a little bit longer last night to get into the game, but once we got into the game, an old Tanganga when he scored that goal, and it was brilliant. So, and I think a lot, and now we've done recently, a lot of that's down to Tanganga because I think since he's come back, defensively we're a lot more solid than we was before, But I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I thought we fully deserved to win last night. I thought we fully deserved to beat Burnley. And this rubbish that Scott Parker come out with about the linesmen affecting their players, well, dear, oh dear. I mean, if they're going to get affected by that, they have to have a look at what they're doing on the football pitch, in my view. But anyway, and again, last night I thought, and I'm looking forward to Stoke, although that's away, but I'm confident we can get the 3 points there.
Very, very much agree with you there, Ted and Stan. Sorry, and I was about to ask you about Scott Parker's comments, but there you go. You've answered that one for me.
He needs to look at himself. He needs to look at himself, Myles. But to use that as some sort of reason for why his side played the way that they did is absolutely pathetic, to be quite honest. I've gone on record before. I don't think Scott Parker's the right man for Burnley.
No, I agree.
Think, there's managers out there that I think would be better for him. But and when he says things like that, it's another reason for me to believe that what I'm saying is right. Because at the end of the day, I don't think that they was already going on the back foot when that happened. We was already getting to grips with the game. I don't know where he says that was a reason. I've never known any footballer to stop them and because a linesman's fallen down, start, affecting their game. It's a ridiculous comment to make, I think if I'm honest, the freshness of our lads and the ones that come on, like Stan said, in this division, once you get that first goal, you put the opposition on the back foot. And we did that with Burnley. We knocked them out of their stride. We took the grips in the middle of the park, like I say, with Casper Denori, who was probably my man of the match, and the likes of Aziz, who seemed to me on Sunday prove himself to be a championship player. Like what people said when we bought him, this guy's got some ability, and I thought he showed that on Sunday. I thought he was outstanding, and we were just better than them across the park. And it's not for us to discuss Burnley's choice of manager, but whilst I think they're going to be there, I think they'll be there despite Scott Parker, not because of, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm. I've heard people complain about refereeing decisions or linesmen's decisions cost them the game, and and all that sort of thing. And the bloke put up his flag when he wasn't looking. I've heard all that, and to some extent, you can be possibly a little bit sympathetic because we've all had that experience. But to come out with what he come out with, dear oh dear. I mean, that's a new.
He wants to look at some of the decisions that we get from referees and linesmen.
Yeah.
Over the last few games that we've had, I thought the referee last night against Leeds was okay, but there was some things that he missed. There was so much shirt pulling and God knows well. I mean, I don't know what it is. Jake Cooper, bless him, comes out every game, looks like he's been thrown around like a rag doll because people grab him and throw him around, and he gets himself booked for complaining about it, which is, it baffles me, but But yeah, look, what I would say is, having watched Burnley on Sunday again, just going back to him, I can see why they bought Zion Fleming, because they had nothing really up front. I'm not sure how much Zion would improve them, but he was certainly an improvement upon what they had on Sunday, I think.
We will take a very quick break there and hear from Debbie Julians and Jess Tuffield talking about G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julians here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 813562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Ted Robertson and Stan Godwin. Many thanks to our sponsor, G&M Motors. Why not check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend? Our first guest is a significant figure. He first hit the headlines in 2017. He's a Millwall fan brought up on the other side of the Old Kent Road to Ilderton Road, as most recognisable face at the Den, locally and across the media. He will have Green Street's football culture film screenwriter Dougie Brimson take his story to the big screen. I'll say no more and welcome the one, the only, the Lion of London Bridge, Roy Larner. Hello, Roy. You right, mate?
Yeah, evening, everyone.
Good evening, Roy.
Go on, Roy.
Yeah, all good, thank you.
Good.
Especially after last night.
Yes.
Roy, before I let you chat with the team, could you tell us what motivated you to take on the project that was going on?
I mean, the first of all was the book thing, as we know of. That was a big thing to take on, to do that again. And I'm glad I've done that. And the Dean Rinaldi who told us to do the book, we've done the book with him, and he said push it out there to try and get something bigger than this, like to put on a screen or something on TV. And that's when Dougie got back to us, and since then it's gone really fast. That it's all coming into reality, really, that everyone's interested in the story and hopefully give the truth out there that it's probably been hidden from everyone. How I was treated afterwards and everything else. So I'm quite interested in be quite interested in doing it and that. So
That's great, Roy. Evening, Roy. It's Ted here, mate.
that's it.
Roy, I mean, you know, it seems like a lifetime ago to me when this all happened. It must feel twice as long to yourself and that. But how do you actually feel now, knowing that you're being recognised and going to be honoured in a way that, I mean, your book was your first step, like you say quite rightly, and fantastic as that was, to actually see yourself going up on the, well, I'm old enough to call it a silver screen, mate, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Get up there and see yourself in it. That must, how do you feel about that, mate?
I feel good. I mean, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. It is weird thinking about it. It's weird that it's going to happen. But in a good way, it'd be good to get the story out there. I met Leo, who's lined up to play. Leo Gregory, who's lined up to play myself, and he seems the right character person to do that. He seems down to earth sort of person. He goes football a lot. He's a Tottenham supporter, so we could quite connect a lot on the football side. I'd say it'd be weird, but also it'd be good for me to push out the truth and everything else, and to get it right, the right story out there to everybody.
You'd be involved. Obviously, you'll be involved in it, Roy. But we have a lot of say in it. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we spoke to Dougie. Yeah, I'd have a lot of say to it. Also, I mean, we had a lot of there'll be a lot of discussions, as he said, because there'll be a lot of times where memories might come back. So they were worried about that at first, being on set when that could push back some memories of myself. But I mean, it's
I was
good.
going to say about that. Sorry, Roy, you mentioned that. I was going to say about that. How do you feel about like sort of dealing with that? Because obviously we all know how horrific it was, and it could
give you nightmares and things like. But I mean, that's the good thing. They thought about all that at the beginning as well. So I mean, if I'm not happy of being on set when they're doing all these things, I won't be. But we can only try and see how things go. Whether it pushes you back, if it pushes you back, then you don't be there. But I mean, I'm glad that they thought about all this beforehand as well. So it's quite good. I think I'll be okay, but you never know until you try these things. You're always going to have your setbacks in life anyways, the memories and that. Even the fireworks the other night, I mean, before they used to be a bit of a nightmare because all the banging and that remind me of all the shooting. As the years go over, you do finally get used to things again.
Roy, making all of that and the production part of it is really challenging. When will you be? When will actors be recruited? And is there any chance for Millwall fans to get involved? Because I know there are some quite interested in that.
I think the best person, and we spoke about this as well, is Dougie. I was talking that he was going to try and do something where, well, I know that there will be. I know it's only early stages yet, because it's not till next year, but I think that's the thing he would like to do as well. We've talked about that. How he's going to do that, I don't know myself, because I'm not in that sort of position to who does what there. But I think he wants to get as many involved probably. I think the best person is to ask Dougie, or yeah. But I think he'd like to get people involved in Millwall as well, into some of the extras at the back of whatever the filming is going to be about.
Well, I'll tell you what, Roy, if they're doing it...
It's being written now as we're talking, I suppose. So it's still early days yet, but that's a good point I put to him anyway. I will do.
I'm going to say to you, Roy, if they're doing a scene from the pub where you was a week before it actually happens, I'll be in that because that's where I was. Yeah, a week to the day when all that happened, I was in that pub. And, God knows how I would have... I don't think I'd have been anywhere as brave as yourself, mate, to be quite honest. That's why I've got nothing but admiration. Yeah. But it was actually the week before that I was in there.
Was it 2 weeks before that, wasn't it? We was at Wembley.
Yeah.
So that's... I mean, we've had this discussion. I mean, as I said, it's being written now. I mean, I'd like it... He'd like to start on that night, but I'd like to start 2 weeks before. But we're in discussion with that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because the 2 weeks before, then the Manchester one just was on that weekend as well, wasn't it? I think, or the Manchester terror attack. But we'll be informed when. Dougie's the one again. He's writing a script, which whether it's on that beforehand or after. On that night of the attack, and we'll have to wait and see where it starts from.
Are you going to be in it, Roy?
I don't think so. I'm not an actor. I don't think my face will be as good looking as the actors, I suppose.
You're just like me, Roy. You've got a face for radio.
I'm more like Mr. Bean, probably. But it's all interesting, and It's another, it's good, and I'm getting like recognised not just for football. I mean, it's the story's getting bigger and bigger every year somehow, some reason. I suppose they're like, I suppose it's mad. After 7 years or 7.5 years, you think the story will slow down, but it hasn't. It's got like, to me itself, it's got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, Roy, it's Stan here, mate. I mean, yeah, how are you? All right?
Yeah, good. Thanks.
I tell you what, I've been listening very intently to what's being said here, and I just want to sort of just cross my mind. I just want to take you back to the actual night. I don't want it, and let me just bear with me for a second. I mean, can you recall when you was in that? How long roughly you'd been sitting in that pub when all of a sudden, out of nothing, the whole thing suddenly exploded and your life changed from that point? I mean, you got any sort of...
I mean, we was all in different pubs because it was a Champions League, and to be honest, I know quite over the years I've got quite friendly with people like managers of pubs around there, because I actually live around that way. And that pub there was really popped over there quick because the manager for the Market Porter his staff was like clearing up and all that, so we went over there for a few, and we did it probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah, see, because I go when I meet my cousin and we go in the Market Porter. There's the one pub in the borough we go to, but no, the reason I asked that question because I was just, as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, well, you know, you say you'd been watching the Champions League. Yeah. And somebody said, "Oh, let's go and have a pint," and you think, right, okay, then. And you sit down, and within sort of 10 or 15 minutes tops, events take place which you've got, absolutely no knowledge of until it happens, right? And all of a sudden, at the end of all that, your life and everything around you's just changed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and I just,
it's mad.
It's
crazy. I mean, you can leave your door, go work, and like. Within 10 minutes doing your routine thing, your life could just change. I think to myself, because if it was me, I'd think to myself, if I walked in there and that happened to me, or something similar to that happened to me, you think, well, hang on, I'd probably have difficulty grasping it. You know what I mean? You're facing lunatics. Oh, yeah.
Every week. But anyway, all the compliments that you get are fully deserved, no question about that. Yeah, and if you want any extras in the film, mate, I'll come and be an extra if you want one.
Yes, but I will put that to Dougie, and I will let Myles know. And why not? Why not? It's all interesting, isn't it?
It's because funny enough, every time. When me and my cousin meet up and we go down the Market Porter, at some point during the course of when we're in there, that incident comes up in a discussion. It might only be for 30 seconds on one occasion and 2 minutes 3 months later. You know what I mean? But it invariably it suddenly crops up. As I say, all the sort of tributes you've had and all that sort of stuff, fully deserved, mate. Absolutely fully deserved. And the way I look at it is, there's people. I don't know if you did one other thing. When you after the people that was in the pub, obviously when it all kicked off, they clearly done a runner and all that, and I understand all that, right? Yeah. But when it was all over, right? Yeah. Have any of them people that was in the pub when it happened, if they sort of tried to be in contact with you?
Yeah, there was one girl last year. She's from Italy. She living in where was she living? Luxembourg. But she was over here that night in London with someone, and they didn't just arrive. They didn't just been put down on the table. And when I put social media back on about 3-4 years ago, she sent me this letter. I think I put it in my book about thank you that if it weren't for you saving my life and all that. And I never thought who it was. I never contacted her. I thought it was a bar staff or something. But the Daily Mirror done a story last year. I went to meet her in Paris, and yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have a nice hour with her just to chat and to actually meet her, because I never heard of her before. She never been mentioned before, so it's nice to contact other people. Yeah.
How far do you think that you're down the line, or is Dougie down the line with the production, and how is it all progressing, Roy? Do you know how it's coming along?
What, with the film?
Yeah.
But I think Dougie's writing the script now. I mean, we took Dougie, we invited him down to the Watford game at the beginning of the season. He came along with us, which they beat us, didn't they? 3-2, I think it was. And I think what it is, because Dougie's the best one to talk, but because of the script's got to be written, he's trying to write the script before Christmas or whatever, or before the New Year. And there's a lot of people interested now from abroad, and whatever one takes it on. And I think the filming starts next year sometime.
Good.
Yeah. So it might be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, Roy. I've been asked. I've seen several initiatives to help bring the movie to the screen. What can Millwall fans, and anyone listening, do to support you and Doug in making the film?
We've got on the 7th December. We've got I think it's the commentary game. With I think they've got some bucket things there. Hopefully that do outside the ground, and also I'll be signing some books, I think, by the Blue Bus just before the Pride game. So look out for them and that. And I think Jane and Jackie will be organising something with the bucket thing to hopefully we'll get us past this target we got to get the production going before Christmas and that. It all helps for when, I don't know, Dougie's the one that will tell you probably more, but yeah, well, you just need this production thing going. And yeah, we'll get there, we'll do it. And yeah, and thanks to all the people really that have donated so far to get this going. And because if you don't get this first bit done, we could be waiting a lot more time. I just want to get it up and done quicker than possible.
Yeah, fantastic. Roy, we're obviously all familiar with your story, but could you tell us a little bit about Dougie's background beyond the screenwriter for Green Street, and what you think about Leo Gregory? You mentioned it a little bit earlier about, he played Bother in Green Street. He's playing you, obviously.
Can I tell you about Dougie's background? As far as I know, Dougie's background was, Watford supporter, but I've read his books. I've read his books in the past. I don't really much about his background. I mean, he was in the RAF, I believe, for 18 years, 20 years. He's in Falklands. He's been in the Falklands there. So he's got, that's as much as I know him, but I know him from mainly his books that he's written over the past. And obviously Green Street is a film that I really know him from when that was made. And yeah, and with Leo Gregory, the film was good, and Leo Gregory played Bother quite well. I've only met Leo a couple of weeks ago. Seemed down to earth, normal bloke, and especially with the football, he goes and follows Tottenham quite a bit, and so we'll probably get on as well whenever the film starts or whatever. So I'd be quite interested. Apart from his full background, I'm not that nosy to ask him too much yet, but I will do. I'll find out some more about him.
Yeah, fair enough, mate.
Well, he was famous for that Green Street film, wasn't he? And the other thing I've seen it.
That's what I think I've read one or two of his books, but Green Street was the one that really took off. It's who writes it, who plays it, and some of the actors.
Yeah. And the other thing I remember him seeing him in, funny enough, he was the complete opposite to that. He was in an episode of Foyle's War, where he played some sort of
I never know that.
Luxury sort of gangster type geezer. He had his own golf club and all that lark. And
I never noticed. I never knew that. Yeah.
And then right at the very end, he was going to be told he was likely to be hung for spying, which
Yeah.
which
As the weeks go on, as time goes on, I probably know him inside out. Probably by this time next year.
Yeah. But he was good in that. Boys War.
Yeah. So it'd be very interesting, and I will keep you up to date every time. Yes. As time goes by, and that.
Roy, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, mate.
As always.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to speak to you and learn about your story and your story coming to the screen. We look forward to hearing from you again in the future when there's a development on it. But before we say goodbye, we have Ted's prediction league. So Ted, over to you.
We do, Roy. I'll have to go through this every week, mate. You'll be a lot better than us, I'm sure you will. This, but right, the first game that I've got is our beloved Lions are away to Stoke. Roy, how'd you see that one going, mate?
Well, I was going to say a draw, hopefully, but now them 1-0 wins seem to be creeping in quite well, aren't they?
Well, someone said to me that they were turning into Arsenal, the old Arsenal that used to win.
That'd be brilliant if it was. It'd be boring.
Yeah. So, what do you reckon, then, mate?
I'll go for the 1-0. 1-0 win.
Good man. Why not? The other game I chose, or one of the other games I've chosen, is Watford are at home to Oxford. That's quite funny seeing Dougie's a Watford fan. Didn't realise that at the time. But
they were talking totally different because I think they scored 6 the other week. They'll probably win about 3 or 4-0, I reckon.
What do you want, 3 or 4? What do you reckon?
I'll have 3-0.
3-0.
To Watford,
I wouldn't be surprised at that neither, Roy. The last one's always tricky games. A derby, a local derby. I don't think there's a lot of love lost between these two. Sheffield Wednesday at home to Sheffield United. Oh, sorry, Sheffield United at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry, got the wrong way round.
I mean, we'd love to see a draw now because they're doing quite well, aren't they, Sheffield? The other one.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see a 1-1 draw there.
1-1, Roy. You're in with 1-1. Well, I'd just like to say, Roy, it's been an absolute...
Just a quick thing on about Dougie. It's also a secret Emil Hempstead supporter. He goes quite a lot to Emil.
Emil Hempstead?
Yeah.
Oh,
fair enough, mate. Nice one.
That is dedicated. No, I'd just like to say, Roy, it's always an honour to speak to you. And I wish you all the best with the film, mate, without a doubt.
No problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Roy.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah, see you, Roy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, thanks very much to Roy there for coming on. We will take a break there and hear from Harvey Brown, who talks about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a matchday donation hub by the SE16 bar at Coleman Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Lionesses talking team of Ted Robertson and Stan Godwin. Make sure you support the Lions Food Hub. Our second guest is a familiar voice on our show. He initially aired it at Love Sport Radio and saddened us with a Millwall song that astounded Love Sport's Johnny Burrows, as it all happened inside a restaurant. He possesses a good overview of all things Millwall. Let's say a big hello to Sam Gardiner.
Good evening, chaps. How are you?
Good evening, Sam.
Yeah. Sam, before I hand you over to the panel, tell me, do you remember that appearance on Millwall Fan Show on Love Sport Radio?
Do you know what? Right, when you just mentioned that, I was thinking you was talking about my granddad when you said the restaurant. But I do remember a very post-season curry with the lads I go to Millwall with, and had a good few beers and got the waiters singing. Yeah, I do remember that very well.
I wouldn't say it was a singular singer. It was more like a choir by the time you finished.
It was, yeah. It very much was, yeah.
Evening, Sam. It's Ted here anyway, mate. You all right?
Yeah, very well, Ted. Yourself?
Good, man. Yeah, no, well, I've got grin on my face that ain't stopped all day after last night, mate. I've got to be honest. What do you reckon? Do you think Neil Harris has found a formula to ensure us that we can, should we say, sustain a promotion chasing season? I mean, the league's so funny with points and whatever, you know what I mean? 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, but I think he's nearly there. Do you?
Yeah, I think like most, Neil Harris' biggest fan, and I think he's actually shown more than anything how much he's grown as a manager, because we've got some, I hate to say it, we do have some fickle fans that, after a few results, they get on managers back, and it winds me up more than, especially what he's done for us. So, it's, he was always kind of deemed he didn't really have a plan B. But actually, his plan A was always what everyone said was the long ball diagonal. It worked with Morrissey Gregory, but he's come back here and he's not playing two up front. He's put more in the midfield, which is clearly helping the defence. It goes without saying, we've conceded 5 in the last 12 games now. So he actually has adapted and seems to have grown as a manager. So with that, not scoring goals, and the fact that I think our striker, we've got much more to come from our strikers who are still going to, they've got a little way to go. There's a young Serb and Langstaff stepping up the league. I think we're in a fantastic position under Neil to push on.
I'll tell you what, Sam. I see a
good crack.
Yeah, I see a little stat before last night's game, and it said that I'm a big stats man, but it said that since Neil Harris is back, if you take into account the number of games that he's been in charge of since he came back last year, if we beat Leeds last night, which we did do, I like to keep saying that. He would have won more points than anybody else in the league, because the only ones that were above him was Leeds.
Yes,
and since
February.
That's an outstanding record, really.
It really is. When you think there was, our fans seem to have had, it was half and half. Half fans seem to have had enough of a row. They wanted to see something a little bit more flamboyant on the pitch. Went with a young manager who seemed to have that kind of criteria, with the England under 20s, I believe, or under 19s. But that didn't work out. And we were really in the depths of despair when Neil took over. So, I think after that game we won at Southampton, where I think we were about 9-1 to win away, and I think we'd won 1 in 13, to then go and win, I think it was something along the lines of 9 out of his next 13 games to keep us safe. And keep us safe, finished 12th in the end, to then have a bit of a poor start this season, conceding goals. And he would have heard it. Some silly fans, I won't say or really think, getting on his back when we had a lot of new players, had to adapt, had to gel. To then come back and do what we're doing now is just even more testament to the man. And he's got us winning at home again.
And people forget he took Cardiff to the playoffs. That's
exactly
what gives me hope for this year.
Yeah, exactly that. And as long as we can continue to be hard to score against, you're always going to give yourself chances. And I think I was talking about it with my friends the other day. In my lifetime, our best strikers have all come from non-league. Just Neil Harris, Steve Morrison, Lee Gregory, but they take time. And I think that Langstaff, he'll go on a run, so he's going to get better. That Serb, really like the look of him. He seems like he's a big guy with a bit of pace about him as well, and confidence. And Coleman back, it really is exciting. So it's hard not to dream. But I think, we've seen enough tough times down the den that I think you have to, really, don't you? Otherwise, what's the point? When you've got a club legend at the helm again, the place is buzzing, everyone's behind him, team's playing well. If you can't dream now, then I don't think there's much point.
Sam, it's Myles here. Tell us, was it your destiny or an option when, life following the Lions began?
It was my dad. My dad was a big Millwall fan. He grew up in Deptford, went to many games at the old Den. Unfortunately, passed when I was little, so my mum took over the burden, if you will, as she saw it at the time, being a burden, and then she fell in love with it, and she's been quite involved with the club for a number of years. So it's, I think a lot of people follow their dads, and I've done that, and then my mum and all of my dad's friends, so it's really in my heart. I've not seen us in the top league, and that's my dream. I've followed us everywhere and, pretty much up and down the country. So, yeah, it's right in my heart, and that's where it stemmed from for me.
Yeah, Sam, it's Stan Godwin here, mate.
Hey, Stan.
All right.
Yeah, very well.
What
thanks.
players have impressed you in our squad this season?
I mean, there's not many that haven't, actually. I mean, look, I think naturally we knew Tanganga was probably a level above us. Granted, he was out for a while, wasn't he, before coming to us? He's had some injuries and he had a bit of a slow start. He made a couple of mistakes, but you could see outside of a couple of just individual momentary errors, there was a player that was a level above. He's had Cooper looking a hell of a lot better since he's come back. I mean, SA has been absolutely fantastic. And if I'm being honest, I actually thought at the start of the season that actually Amaku might have been ahead of him in terms of progression this year, just in terms of physicality and things like that. But it's just he's just absolutely flown. The midfield's been fantastic. I mean, I can't really fault anyone. So
I mean, I would just say this in terms of Tanganga. I mean, you said it. You mentioned at the beginning of the season. You know, we were shipping a couple of goals and whatever, and lost 3-2 and that. Right now, I think that one of the reasons for that, apart from the fact that players need to get to know one another and all that, and they got new player, I get all that. But I think the main reason for that was because for the first 3 games we didn't have Tanganga, would it? Because he was suspended. But the moment he then come back into the team, it's a different outfit altogether at the back, and I think he's the difference. And as you say, he's made Cooper a better player and all the rest of it. No arguing about any of that.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
completely agree. He's given Cooper that confidence. There's a little bit more pace next to him. There's someone with a lot of confidence and certainty around the defence at the moment. So yeah, it's looking good.
He's a really good player, Sam, but he's a legend now. But scoring a winner against Leeds makes him a legend in my book.
Well,
yeah, exactly that.
Anyone who scores against Leeds, a legend, mate.
Exactly. But he is. You're right, Sam. He's a level really above. The Championship. Anyway, I mean, he wouldn't look out of place in some of these Premier League defences. That's for sure in my eyes. But I think the way you was talking, I think it's like every Millwall fan. You start thinking about who's been playing well, who's been good. SA always comes to mind because he's one of our own. We know that. But
naturally,
all of a sudden, we are a team. And this is Neil Harris again, because he's such... he knows Millwall inside out. He knows that we haven't got the money to spend to make us exceptional on ability alone. It has to be a team. And that's what he's actually built here in my eyes. And you can see the camaraderie between them at the end of a game. And I've got to have a special mention for last night for Klaus Jensen for waving goodbye to the Leeds fans, because
that was fantastic.
I thought that was the highlight of the evening for me, Sam. I've got to be honest. But,
brilliant.
But no, I think it's the team ethic, don't you, Sam, that's taken us where we are?
I mean, look, Neil Harris, outside of me saying that he seems to have actually improved as a manager tactically, he's trying things that we didn't see from him before. I think we do know one thing he does have. If he's a manager of Millwall Football Club, he's going to have the dressing room all together. I think any player that's played under him at Millwall will say that, it's always been one of the better dressing rooms they've been in. He lets under non-certain terms, he makes everybody understand and know what it is to play for the club. Naturally, when you get wins, that makes it even more of a bond. And you can see it just with the players coming off the pitch yesterday, the singing with the fans, there's a real good buzz and, long may it continue. And I don't think it won't. We'll have a bad run. Like you said, that's the way the Championship goes. But I think there's more than enough in this squad to come back from a bad run. So that's why I think we're going to be, there or thereabouts again this season. Hopefully, top half to pushing top 6.
Sam, thank you very much. It's great to have you on the show.
I appreciate it. Lads, I'm probably going to have to slip off because I've got a darts match starting in 5 minutes.
Just quickly then.
Yeah, go on.
Quickly before you go, Sam, got some predictions that I need from you. Stoke versus Millwall on Saturday.
2-0 win.
Love it. What about Sheffield United at home to Sheffield Wednesday?
1-1 draw.
You go with that. And the last one, Watford at home to Oxford.
I'll go for a Watford win, 3-0. I'm going to have to put £1 on that now, because if those three ever come in and I didn't back it after I won the show, I'd be devastated.
Listen, mate, good luck at your darts. I hope they hit the board at least, because mine don't.
Well, that's no guarantee.
Good luck, mate.
Lads.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, Sam.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, Sam.
Take a break there and hear from Ellie and Eamon talking about Harvey's Den Cafe.
Hi Ellie, lovely to see you here up in Harvey's Den again. And of course you've taken over from the Brown family. Cafe that they have here is just wonderful. Millwall shirts on the chairs, blue and white tablecloths, blue chairs, and all you guys in Millwall kit.
Of course.
Tell me, what goes on? When are you here? What can we expect?
We're here Monday to Friday from 10:30 till 5 every day, open to the public. Everyone's welcome. We're open every match day from 11:30 till 2:30. We've got a new family, a new little CAF team, and the girls up here are all lovely and friendly.
So who are the girls that are up here?
We've got myself, Ellie, of course, and then we've got Nicole, who works during the week. We've got Michelle, who also works during the week. She's lovely. And Lena, who works on a match day. And my mum, Ellen, who's very well known.
Very well known.
She also helps out in here from time to time. So we've got a lovely little family team.
To look after the community. Exactly. Wonderful stuff. So what's on offer at the cafe these days?
We've got everything from chicken burgers to paninis to full breakfasts, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, soft drinks, snacks, everything you could need.
So it's all here, all available, a great team to serve it up to you. Well, what else can I say but carry on in Harvey's style here at Harvey's Den Cafe, and all the best to you, Ellie, and your team, and I look forward to coming up and enjoying some of the fare in not the far distant future. Well, in fact, I've already done that. The coffee is just superb. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Eamon.
Fantastic there. And make sure you get down to Harvey's Den Cafe on Saturdays before the game is. They're open for 3 p.m. Saturday kickoffs. Well, then let's hear from Ellis Barr now. Keep us updated, Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Firstly, Paul Loden, who escaped the severity of the South China Sea typhoon, sent his predictions in as neither Millwall Romans or Pride were in action at the weekend. He said Millwall will defeat Stoke City 2-0, Sheffield United will defeat Sheffield Wednesday 1-0, and Watford will beat Oxford United 3-0. We have news from the Romans and Pride on their return from the international break. The Lionesses were match-free last weekend, but faced WSL Spurs Academy at the Den on Sunday the 17th of November with a 1 p.m. kickoff. There are 3 easy ways to buy your tickets. 1. Online at the Millwall ticketing section of the club website. Booking fees do apply. By phone on 0207 231 9999. I'll repeat that. That's 0207 231 9999. And selecting option 1 between the hours of 9:30 and 5, Monday to Thursday, and 9:30 till 4 on Fridays. Again, booking fees apply. Or you can just go to the Millwall ticket office and buy them there.
Before I get on to Sunday's game, Myles, just like to say a huge congratulations to all the people involved with the Remembrance Sunday, all the Army boys that were there, and I think no club does it like Millwall. There's no doubt about it in my eyes. The feeling that is expressed from the crowd is all more than worthwhile for them boys, and thankfully I'm proud of our club, and basically I'm proud of them, and we do Remembrance Day like nobody other, I've got to be honest. So a huge congratulations to all concerned with that.
Before that cup game, the Lionesses face Barking in the league at St Paul Sports Ground, Rotherhithe, this Sunday with the 1:30 kickoff. I'll be there to follow the action. They're on a run too. We're on the road this Saturday to face Stoke City for a 12:30 kickoff at the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke's boss, Naresh Palak, hailed passionate Potter's performance, praising the soul of his side following a brave triumph over Blackburn on Wednesday night, where goalkeeper Victor Johansson was their man of the match. I personally wanted us to go for him in the summer. This was their first back-to-back win for the Potters this season, focusing on their tactics. Narcissus reflected on the need for the team to dominate both boxes throughout 90 minutes plus of the match and to carry into their next game against Millwall. The whole team and coaches are now focused on Millwall arriving on Saturday. They say they know Millwall's tactics and will capitalise on the knowledge. Stoke possesses some class players, and in particular, we must ensure that the Irish Republic international Tom Cannon, who has been shortlisted for the October Championship Player of the Month award, is managed throughout. The 21-year-old made the headlines at the start of last month when he scored 4 goals in the Potters' 6-1 success at home to Portsmouth and scored the second against Blackburn on Wednesday night. After our defeat of Leeds on Wednesday, and Stoke, who were evens to win, also drifted to 8-5. The draw odds have drifted out from 9-4 to 19-10. These are very tight odds nonetheless. So, team, what do we reckon? Stan, we'll start with you.
Well, Millwall, I had 3-1 to Millwall.
Fantastic. Ted, what do you reckon?
Well, I've gone for a 2-1, Myles. I mean, you summed that up perfectly. I think Cannon's a terrific player, and he will certainly need some looking after. But after the way our boys have been defending of late, I see no reason why they can't keep him out. But it's a typical championship game, isn't it? So Stoke found a bit of form, so off they go. But there's no side in better form than us at the moment. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with me 2-1 to the Lions.
Fantastic. For Millwall versus Stoke, I'm going to go 1-0 Millwall again, although I don't think my nerves can take it. Sheffield United versus Sheffield Wednesday. Stan, what do you reckon?
Well, on paper, Sheffield United should win that, but I think I'll go for a Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 win. 2-1,
very brave, Stan. I've gone with 2-1 Sheffield United myself, Myles. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that is the obvious score, but I don't know. I just got a feeling about Sheffield Wednesday.
I'm going to go 3-1 Sheffield United.
3-1 Sheffield United. Well, it's a derby match. I understand Stan's way of thinking, but could be anything. The last one, Myles, Watford versus Oxford.
Yeah, the last one. I'm going to go. Not really sure. I'm going to go 2-1 Watford. 2-1 Watford.
2-1 Watford. What about you, Stan?
I'll go 2-2.
2-2. It's a bit of a local derby again, isn't it, really, I suppose?
Yeah.
Watford and Oxford, not far apart. But I've gone for a 2-0 to Watford there. They're on a bit of a roll, I think. And I can see Oxford beginning to feel the pace a bit of the Championship, I think. So I'll stick with a 2-0 to Watford myself.
Well, we also have our predictions from Nick Wythe of the Millwall Facebook Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicts.
Hello everyone, this is Nick Wythe. These are my 3 forecasts. Stoke 1, Millwall 2, Sheffield United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, and Watford 3, Oxford 0. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Nick. And keeps reminding us that Ted needs to get his wallet ready. Thanks for that. And thanks to Dave.
Always ready, Myles. Thank you, Nick.
And thanks to Dave, who collates the results. And don't forget, we have the international break after the Stoke trip. Oh, God, not again. We face the impressive Mackems at the Den after that, and that is Sunderland, if you are not familiar with the term Mackems. This refers to the claim that people from Sunderland are called Mackems because of a saying associated with the shipbuilding industry on Wearside. We mack 'em, you tack 'em. Translated as, we make the ships and you take the ships, apparently. Well, that was fun, with the added handicap of not being able to predict the same results as each other. Now then, it's time for Phil Coleman's Tales from the Root Room.
Hi everyone, Phil Coleman here again with a few more tales from the locker room, or the boot room. I'm going to carry on chatting about a few players that I've played with over the years. One of them, I bet fans have already forgotten about him, David Gregory. Young left back, came into the side in 79-80 season. Really quiet lad, but very effective. Just got on with the job. He defended, he was solid, and just a simple, plain, but very effective left back, young David Gregory. I played beside Tony Tagg, big centre back, but I always remember Taggy because quite often George Petty would put him up front, and Taggy would come up with a few goals. I think he scored a hat-trick in one game. Also, I played beside Mel Blythe. Mel came in to try and help us young lads out. The average age of the squad went down as the FA Youth Cup winning team came into the first team. There were 6 or 7 of us in the first team, and alongside Mel Blythe, Barry Kitchener made a good pairing. But a bit disappointed when he came in because obviously he took the centre-back shirt away from me and Paul Roberts. Another good lad, really good lad, John Mitchell, very good target man, and we bought him from Fulham, scored a few goals. But I'll remember John as somebody who really supported us youth team lads. He'd go out of his way to pick us up and drop us off at the training ground and take us back to the den after training. Another striker we got in was John Bartley. John was a fireman and he played for Welling. And he will always be known in my head as he had giant feet. He had size 13 boots, size 13 feet. So Arry ever ran in that size feet, but he certainly scored goals. And I'd recommend that Millwall fans go and check out John Bartley Footballer on Wikipedia, because his goals column is absolutely unreal. And I mean unreal. So fans, check out John Bartley's goals. Then there's the goalkeepers that I played with. Obviously, I came up with Peter Glazier, or the Block as we called him, and Paul Sampson was coming through as well as the understudy. And I made my debut in front of a much maligned Pat Cuff. Fans won't believe me, but he got some stick. But trust me, Pat was a very good goalkeeper. And there's some games on YouTube where Cuffy pulls off some amazing saves. And he was a good goalkeeper, worked really hard during the week in training. And alongside me, he's one of a few that have got a West Ham victory under their belts playing against West Ham. And then there's the legendary John Stonewall Jackson, as the fans nicknamed him. Jacko was brilliant. He came in, he was 37 years old. He told me what was going to happen before it happened. He read the Game Locker book because of his experience, but boy oh boy was he tough. I can remember if you chipped him in training in a shooting session, he chased after you and he battered you, and it wasn't funny either. He hated being chipped. But I love Jacko because sitting on the coach for 5 hours to Plymouth or Carlisle on the train, I just talked football with him, and I probably learned more from Jacko than just about any other player. And a little story about Jacko, he had a little black book, and just before the game, he would get the little black book out and he'd have notes on all the strikers and the penalty takers and where they put the penalties. So it wasn't done just this year, this century. Jacko would add a little black book back then. And as we come up to Memorial Day, Remembrance Sunday, I can't let it go without mentioning my old mate John Lyons. It was 42 years ago on the 11th of November that John took his own life. 11th of November 1982. I walked into the change rooms at Colchester United at 10 o'clock to be told that John had taken his own life overnight. But I left him at 1 o'clock in the morning after we'd been out for a beer, or 10. And whatever happened between us dropping him off at 1 o'clock and him taking his own life, I will never know. But Linesy, you're always remembered. One of the funniest blokes in football. He had us in stitches the night he was out. I can remember he put a beer mat on the end of his nose, stood up in the pub and shouted out, "Who the effing hell threw that?" He had the pub in stitches. Linesy, you'll always be remembered, mate. Never forgotten, along with other greats like Barry Kitchener, Phil Walker, Dave Memmett, Dean Horrocks and Mel Blythe. Certainly those guys that I played beside. So rest in peace, Linesy, and all the others well remembered this Memorial weekend. Bye for now.
Thanks very much for that, Phil. Much appreciated, mate. Well, we'll take a break there and hear from Bethany Magdalo, who talks about how you can support and donate to the Millwall Community Trust.
The Millwall Community Trust is something that I, Bethany Magdalo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985 to provide sporting, educational, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. Donating to the Millwall Community Trust is easy. Visit their website and click on the Get Involved section. There are also sponsorship opportunities. To support this work, email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That's commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. If you can, please help them to continue their vital work.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Lionesses Talkin team of Ted Robertson and Stan Godwin. If you could donate, it will help our Millwall Community Trust to deliver all their programmes across all age groups to people within our community. We're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Millwall Football Club's 2024 Christmas party tickets are now on sale. Kickstart your weekend with a night of festivities in SE16 at the excellent Arry's Bar on Friday, December the 13th. Friday the 13th, eh? The Christmas party from 7 p.m. to midnight is aimed at smaller groups looking for a mixed party night with a Christmas-themed buffet and a DJ. Tickets are priced at £25 per person. The Den is only one stop from London Bridge, making it a perfect location to dance the night away. The party night is strictly for those over 18 years old, and tickets can be purchased via the Millwall Tickets website.
Following the international break, we will return on the 22nd of November. Gary Staff will host the show with a panel of Jeff Burnage, Steve Warren, and former Lion Phil Coleman. Be sure to tune in for more laughs, gossip, and discussion, and a tale from the boot room, maybe live, as the lot before the Lions face Sunderland at the Den on the 23rd of November.
The Lionesses are facing Barking on Sunday in another league fixture. Why not get along to St Paul's Sports Ground Rotherhithe at 1:30 p.m. and give our Lionesses a big boost as part of their good crowd, roaring them to return to where they belong.
Don't forget you'll be able to listen to the Lionesses Talking team bring reports from our games, both home and away, for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride, and also updates on Millwall community matters on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Additionally, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook and X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr and all popular podcast sites. That's it from me. Thanks, Ted.
Cheers, Myles.
And thanks, Stan.
Yeah, cheers, Myles.
And thank you all for listening. Finally, on Remembrance Sunday, November the 10th, let's think of the fallen from the many conflicts this country has faced. Bless them all. Good night.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.